kid's too smart to ever learn. Too on fire to feel the burn of desires all around him. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore. What's the difference between the life we choose and the life we dream? Rebels who have to let it freeze. Life's too short to know its needs. Learn the symbols. Don't just do what's simple. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore.
Alright, how's it going, everybody? It is Sandwhichpants here today, and we got some stuff to go over, okay? Just a few things. Not a whole lot. And then I'll be ending this particular stream and going over to Twitch to do some alien isolation. But what I kind of want to cover in this is going over news out of Colombia. Talking about this guy, Vaush. And my stance on the work that Vaush does. And I'm going to go over this as well. So, let's get started. First things first, let's go over Colombia. UN alarmed at police killings of peaceful protesters in Colombia. Police in the Colombian city of Cali reportedly opened fire on demonstrators who were protesting tax reforms. The UN Human Rights Office said it was in the process of verifying the exact number of casualties and trying to determine how this incident could have happened. Human rights spokeswoman Marta Hurtado said it is important to get to the bottom of these events. Hurtado said her office has received reports of people being arbitrarily detained. Human rights defenders said, report being harassed and threatened by security forces. We've seen videos of police dragging demonstrators, including injured demonstrators. We have witnesses of excessive use of force by security officers, shootings, live ammunition being lubed, beating of demonstrators. There has been no response from the Colombian government to the UN's remarks. Colombia's defense minister, Diego Molano, has alleged that illegal armed groups are infiltrating the protests to cause violence. Of course they would say that. Any excuse. The head of Colombia's National Police Force, General Jorge Luis Varga, said 26 allegations of police brutality are under investigation. News reports cite police as saying their forces came under attack amid acts of looting and burning of buses. Yep, seems bad. State of anarchy in southern Colombia as 13 killed in a week. A provincial governor in southern Colombia has warned that the region is in a state of anarchy, complete disorder. This is not what anarchy is. Amid a fresh wave of violence that has claimed at least 13 lives in the past week. I really wish people would stop using anarchy in this context. John Alexander Rojas, the governor of the Nariño province, sounded the alarm in an interview with the newspaper El Espectador after 8 people, all aged between 17 and 26, were killed in a massacre at a barbecue in the small town of Samaniego on Saturday night. This is what happens here, and in any moment one can run into illegal armed groups who will kill anyone without saying a word. There's nothing we can do except hope to God that this stops. Well, yeah. Rife with coca crops, the key ingredient used to make cocaine. Peace deal. The accord was supposed to bring with it increased security to the poorest regions, but such change has been elusive, with dissident FARC factions fighting for territorial control with a rival leftist guerrilla group, the National Liberation Army, right-wing paramilitary groups, drug cartels, and the Colombian military. Colombia has seen 33 massacres this year. Jeez. Okay. Based on both of these stories, it seems that Colombia is dealing with A, drug cartels, right-wing paramilitary groups, and dissident factions fighting for territorial control, including a rival leftist guerrilla group. I don't even know what ELN is. Oh, it's the National Liberation Army. Leftist guerrilla group, the National Liberation Army, or ELN. Right-wing paramilitary groups. So it's different groups fighting for political control and territorial control, including drug cartels, which are vastly more powerful than most other groups. Woo! So, what could be done? Well, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. We have lefty guerrilla groups fighting against paramilitary right-wing groups. We've got dissidents of major political, like, I guess they're not major political parties, but they're a large enough group that they got a peace treaty signed with the Colombian government. Yeah, the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, which I don't know anything about. 50 years of civil war. Dope. Okay. Okay, so it's a vanguard group. They're actual Marxist-Leninists. They actually do work. The operations of the FARC-EP were funded by kidnap and ransom, illegal mining, extortion, and taxation of various forms of economic activity and the production and distribution of illegal drugs. Okay. The United Nations has estimated that 12% of all civilian deaths in the Colombian conflict were committed by FARC and National Liberation Army guerrillas, with 80% committed by right-wing paramilitaries and the remaining 8% committed by the Colombian security forces. 80% committed by right-wing paramilitaries. Da-da. Hmm. This is very, very interesting. Okay. So, the group is fairly weak overall, but they're really good at guerrilla warfare. Oh, they are a legal political party. They set down their arms. And about 2,500 dissidents still take on the original doctrine and continue with drug trafficking. Wow. A small faction of FARC leaders announced a return to armed activity on August 29th, 2019, stating that the Colombian government did not respect peace deals, a position Colombian officials disagreed with. They responded with offensive strikes, killing members planning to lead rearmament activities. People should have their guns. Okay, so here's the background. In 1948, in the aftermath of the assassination of the populist politician Jorge Eliezer Gaitan, I think, there occurred a decade of large-scale political violence throughout Colombia, which was a conservative liberal civil war that killed more than 200,000 people. Okay, yeah. In Colombian history and culture, the killings are known as La Violencia, the violence, 1948 to 1958. Most of the people killed were peasants and laborers in rural Colombia. In 1957 to 1958, the political leadership of the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party agreed to establish a bipartisan political system known as the National Front. The Liberal and Conservative parties agreed to alternate the exercise of government power by presenting a joint National Front candidate to each election and restricting the participation of other political movements. Ooh. That doesn't sound, like how I would want my elections to be run. The pact was ratified as a constitutional amendment by a national plebiscite? Plebiscite? A referendum, is it? Oh, it's a referendum. Okay. Okay, so it worked for a little while. During the 1960s, the Colombian government effected a policy of accelerated economic development. The agribusiness plan of Lachlan Curie. Lachlan Curie. Huh. The plan promoted industrial farming that would produce great yields of agricultural and animal products for worldwide exportation, what the Colombian government would provide. Wow. Okay, this is done under capitalism. So, this right here, this is a capitalist planned economy, in a sense. Right? They still used, because what I understand is a planned economy can still use markets to decide what needs to be produced, but the state decides and not individuals. I guess it'd be a command economy, which planned economies are. I've read this before. I know I have. There's a so they're deciding what needs to be produced, and they did it for profit. And they forcibly moved farmers, peasant farmers that were small scale production for their local area. They moved them into the industrial labor pool by forcing them out of their homes and moving them to cities. Okay. Communists were active throughout rural and urban Colombia. In the period immediately following World War I, the Colombian Communist Party was formally accredited by the Comintern in 1930. The Third International. Yeah, world communism good. I like world communism. Peasant leagues in rural areas and popular fronts in urban areas calling for improved living and working conditions, education, and rights for the working class. These groups began networking together to present a defensive front against state-supported violence of large landholders. Of large landholders. State-supported violence of, not against. Members organized strikes, protests, seizures of land, and organized communist-controlled self-defense committees in southern Colombia that were able to resist state military forces while providing the subsistence needs of the populace. Dope! Many of the PCC's attempts at organizing peasants were met with violent repression by the Colombian government and the landowning class. U.S. military intelligence estimated that in 1962 the size of the PCC had grown from 8,000 to 10,000 active members and an additional 28,000 supporters. Not bad. In 1961, a guerrilla leader and longtime PCC organizer named Manuel Marulanda Velez declared an independent Republic of Marquetalia. In Yeres, the Yeres government attempted unsuccessfully to attack the communities to drive out the guerrillas due to fears that a Cuban-style revolutionary situation might develop. After the failed attack, several army outposts were set up in the area. In October 1959, the United States sent a special survey team composed of counterinsurgency experts to investigate Colombia's internal security situation. Among other policy recommendations, the U.S. team advised that to shield the interests of both Colombian and U.S. authorities against interventionist charges, any special aid given for internal security was to be sterile and covert in nature. Oh, of course. In February 1962, 3 years after the 1959 U.S. Special Survey Team, a Fort Bragg top-level U.S. Special Warfare Team headed by Special Warfare Center Commander General William P. Yarborough visited Colombia for a second survey. In a secret supplement to his report to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, I need a drink. Yarborough encouraged the creation and deployment of a U.S.-backed force to commit paramilitary sabotage and/or terrorist activity against known communist proponents. The new counterinsurgency policy was instituted by Plan Lazo in 1962 and called for both military operations and civic action programs in violent areas. Following Yarborough's recommendation, the Colombian military recruited civilians into civil defense groups, which worked alongside the military in its counterinsurgency campaign, as well as in civilian intelligence networks to gather information on guerrilla activity. Doug Stokes argues that it was not until the early part of the 1980s that the Colombian government attempted to move away from the counterinsurgency strategy represented by Plan Lazo and Yarborough's 1962 recommendations. The Colombian government began attacking many of the communist groups in the early 1960s, attempting to re-assimilate the territories under the control of the national government. FARC was formed in 1964 by Manuel Marulanda Velez and other PCC members after a military attack on the community of Marquetalia. 16,000 Colombian troops attacked the community, which had only 48 armed fighters. Marulanda and 47 others fought against government forces at Marcatalia and then escaped into the mountains along with the other fighters. These 48 men formed the core of FARC, which later grew in size to hundreds of fighters. Okay, okay. Wow. And so they don't think there's a lot of history here. Wow, what is this? Oh my god. Okay. Uh, and they keep doing shit. Ceasefire and disarming, and then attempt to reinstate. Okay. Wow. This is why you don't de-arm and try and work with that system necessarily. You don't work under it. You try and make it work with you. General view on it. You make it do what you as a populace want. Drug trade, kidnappings, human rights concerns. This doesn't... Okay. Oh. Hmm. Uh... This bad. This not good. Don't do this. If you're a lefty group trying to fight for, like, liberation of people, you absolutely do not kill indigenous peoples. Like, that's bad. Okay. So there's some yikesy things here under the. Uh. Hugo Chavez had asked if the Colombian government and their allies recognized FARC as a belligerent force, saying the political risk. FARC tactics as methods of civil war provided. Could be bad. Wow. But Colombia has been in a pretty wild state for a decent amount of time, haven't they? That sucks. The US, of course, didn't help. Nope. Makes situations worse. I think that this is something that we need to look into as lefties, not as the US, but as leftists, and see what they've done well, what they've done poorly, which, human rights abuse is not a fan of. Killing indigenous peoples because they're like, hey, this is our land. Well, I mean, come on. Just don't do it. Don't go killing indigenous peoples. They've had some problems. The bulk of the damage has been done right there. Right here and right there. Like when you look at the dissident factions that are leftist guerrilla groups and the National Liberation Army. Yeah, FARC faction dissidents, leftist guerrilla group, the National Liberation Army make up like 25, 30%, right? Or was that in this article? That is not in this article. I thought it was in. Guess it wasn't that one. I thought it was in here. Oh well. It said 80% of the civilian deaths were done by right-wing paramilitary groups, but that like 12% was done by FARC and 20% was done by lefty groups. %80 was done by the rest of this right-wing paramilitary groups, drug cartels, and the Colombian military. Which drug cartels go on both sides, so we'll just eliminate that because there's drug cartels on the left and drug cartels on the right. So you got right-wing paramilitary groups and Colombian military versus leftist guerrilla group and dissident faction. 20% to 80% civilian deaths. That's the big issue as far as civilians are concerned. In this context of the fighting. Now, what matters is that the workers, in this case, the leftists, the civilians, I do think they should be able to try and seize state machinery, but there's steps they need to take. You have to restructure your economy is the big one. But I don't know if they could seize the state machinery at this point. Because, well, Colombia's government does get some U.S. backing. But if they could seize some area, hold on to that, govern it, keep it like they've been doing for a little while, then be able to defend it, I think that could show. You could do like partnerships with the indigenous people in their areas and just not take over any of their areas. You just have areas that are not indigenous owned and currently controlled. Hell, you could even help them liberate some more area for themselves. Because they're indigenous, it's their area. Don't make it ethno-statey, but make it to where you are the dominant power holder. Until you can eliminate all power dynamics. And it's the ultimate goal of anarchism. Like, removal of unjust and coercive power hierarchies. Or hierarchies in general. That's the goal of anarchism. The thing that moves us forward is, well, the thing that history is moved forward through material conditions. Yes, material conditions. Because the class conflict is over material conditions. Everything boils down to material conditions. All of it. All of history. This is, like the state in the state of your living, like how well you're living, your food, access to food and water, some luxury, more modernly healthcare and like showers and stuff, hygiene, material conditions, mostly food and shelter. Those are the big ones: food, shelter, and access to water. Everybody should have those. Honestly, they should. We don't need to fight over them. We produce more food than we could possibly eat. We produce enough food for 3 billion more people on this planet. But it's not profitable to give it to the people that are here. To anyone. It's not profitable to just give it away. So it just gets tossed if it doesn't get bought. That's the economic system. See, economics, at its base, is the study of scarcity and who controls them or how they get passed around. Scarcity of resources and how those resources get passed around. Like, it's very interesting. But there isn't a scarcity of food. Labor conquered that scarcity. But capitalism, as an economic system, has to have scarcity to work. That's how capitalism functions. So it creates scarcity by having the ability to produce enough food but gatekeeping it behind money. If the leftists here could seize the area and start making good leftist pushes, decommodification of food, which we could do here in America pretty fucking easy. Even under a capitalist framework, we could decommodify the food. Interesting, I know, but it could be done. And in healthcare, doing mutual aid with indigenous peoples nearby and with the other local communities that are nearby, along with taking care of your own community, that you could do a lot of good, and that'd do a lot to push people to want to live in that kind of style. And if the U.S. doesn't get involved, we can allow socialism in the global South to start growing. We can allow communism. We can allow anarchism as the actual philosophy of anarchism to bloom and blossom and develop in the global South. We need to. We need to allow countries to develop in that manner. I don't like right-wing countries. I really don't. I think a little bit of pushing and prodding and discussing and trying to get populations radicalized is really the best way. It's what I try and do here for America. Left is best, y'all. I'm just a good old regular Oklahoman. And I sit here in my chair trying to talk to y'all. Hopefully, there's enough Oklahomans who do occasionally tune in that they get the message. We need to be left. Alright? Food, housing, medical care, water, these things should definitely not be commodities. Water is a utility, so you still technically have to pay for it because you have to pay for people doing the labor to get the piping and blah blah blah. There's reasons for that one, but if it just came out as a tax, that'd be a different solution, You need them to live. Water, yes. Housing, yeah. You can die of exposure at 60 degrees if you don't have clothes, and if it's freezing out, homeless people die a lot. So housing, that shouldn't be a commodity. Landlords shouldn't exist. I don't hate individual landlords. I have a landlord. I don't hate the guy. I hate the system that allows him to do what he does. If they can convince people, and we can convince people, we can have communism start to flourish. However, with the state, it seems like they've been killing protesters. And that is usually a bad right-wing thing. Now, there are some lefties that do it. It's an authoritarian tactic. Now, I've also seen some lefties, quote-unquote lefties, who say authoritarianism is just a buzzword. No, Hitler was an authoritarian. Stalin was an authoritarian. Mussolini was an authoritarian. Mao was kind of an authoritarian. Let's face it. So, they've still got work to do. And it doesn't surprise me. See, yeah, look. 2021, UN alarmed police killings of peaceful protesters in Colombia. And they were complaining about FARC was complaining about the government not upholding their thing and killing protesters and stuff, and the government's like, no. And there's been killings, and I've seen that there's a lot of killings recently. So it seems like Colombia's leaning, the state is leaning more fascist, which kind of happens when you do big industrial deals and roll the state and corporate power into one. It's kind of the economic definition of fascism. I wonder what other countries have done that claim to be leftists. Hmm. Is my voice coming through is the question. Is everything working fine? Because if everything is working fine, then I believe we can have a good stream here. Yep, Colombia getting kind of fucked, I think. Really is. We need work to be done. But lefties are there. Lefties are there. What do I want to talk about? Vaush on? Well, not a lot, honestly. I think that there are some criticisms of him that are valid that get ignored. Not the like super crazy out there shit that people throw out, like, oh, he's a pedo, or oh, he's a CIA plant, or la 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 la, or he's. But I do think that he has some trouble taking some of the criticisms that are in good faith. I do. I've seen it happen, and sometimes I do think some of his more recent debates he's come in a little bit. Like, he didn't come in like screamy, shouty, angry, but he does come in irritated and antagonistic-y. Not that he's wrong in his points, but the vibe is there. However, overall, he does a lot of good work. I watch a lot of his shit. I do watch Hassan as well. Mostly on the YouTube thing. As you can see here. Eris. Kyle. Which, right there. So I watch a lot of different viewpoints. I even watch some Socialist MMA. And, as you can see here, Roland S. Martin. If you haven't watched any of Roland S. Martin's stuff, go do it. But I like Vaush as a content creator. He does good work. Does a lot of good work. So I mostly just think it's like a small bit of narcissism, not being able to like. He just kind of brushes off some of the good faith criticism, or he just kind of downplays it, or calls somebody a dumb fuck for it. But no, I don't remember the exact. I think it was somebody who had made a Reddit post and was like in good faith. And one of the things that they said, they were like, I've watched a lot of content, and there's something that Vaush had said that they had a disagreement with, and he was just like, nah, you obviously haven't watched my content over a long period of time, you dumb fuck. And I'm like, I don't know. They're kind of right on that one, bud. Like, I watch pretty much all your content. If it says anything, there's I haven't watched this video because I watched the stream. I haven't watched this video because I just haven't. But if you click here, you scroll down. Yeah, like all of it. I watched this one, but it doesn't show all your stuff, so. Anyways, if you're here, I do. I watch Vaush. Vaush good. Alright? Vaush rad. If you come with a good faith criticism, I'll acknowledge it, okay? But I don't want to hear anything about, oh, Vaush is a fascist. No, no, he's not. Oh, Vaush is just a dumb poopy head pedo. No, no, he's not. So, come with good faith, please. If you want to criticize me, come with good faith. I can take it. You know, usually. Alright, looking up the article. Oh, it's the Hill. No. Donald Trump's starting endorsement of U.S. by September has undercut McConnell and other key. More broadly, the former president has focused the nation's attention on China as the United States' premier. Okay. Wait, what? This fucking ass. More broadly, the former president has focused the nation's attention on China as the United States' premier national security concern, putting pressure on Senate Republicans to support legislation Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer plans to move to respond to Beijing's growing influence and power. McConnell is the most powerful Republican leader in Washington, but he doesn't have the same unrivaled platform that he did when he was in the same position, head of the minority opposition in Washington, at the start of former President Obama's tenure. McConnell is seized on Biden's announcement that he will withdraw all U.S. troops from Afghanistan as a prime example of him talking like a centrist but governing from the left. It's true, he has been governing from the left more than he has anything else right now. Jesus, although this isn't necessarily the best lefty move, because if you understand foreign policy, we fucked a place up, and the Taliban are there, and the people who live there don't want us to just, like, leave all at once. So they would prefer if we left semi-gradually and not just abandon them. It's true. It's true, there's polling on it. The GOP leader has warned that Biden has ordered a hasty loyal withdrawal from Afghanistan. A hasty total withdrawal, from Afghanistan that will leave coalition partners and vulnerable Afghans high and dry, which is technically true. However, if the Afghan people want us to dip on out, we should, which some of them do want us to dip on out, and they just want us to withdraw over time. So if we start withdrawing now, over time, while ramping up training and rebuilding forces and shit, solid. Al Cross, a professor of journalism at the University of Kentucky and longtime commentator on Kentucky politics, said McConnell is trying to set it up so that he can pounce on Biden if militant extremists seize full control of Afghanistan or if terrorist groups use it again as a base to launch attacks against the United States, which is very unlikely to happen, to be completely honest. He's setting a marker to say, I told you so, when Afghanistan goes to hell. He said he makes these little down payments on political investments that may turn out or may not. Big mistake and not the right move, which, I know there's a lot of pressure from the left in this country to get out of Afghanistan, but we have a lot invested over there in a long period of time, and one thing we don't want to do is create conditions that are favorable to terrorist organizations to train and plan. See, I don't hold this particular view. I think that the Taliban may seize power there. Maybe. Oh my god. I don't care if Americans support it. "88% of Americans backed military action in Afghanistan." Okay, that was 2001. Let me see. Growing opposition to the war. Yeah, 62% oppose. There's a huge dichotomy between Republicans and Democrats. Okay. Is Turkey's just like, yes, send military. Romania's like, no. Bulgaria's like, no. 2%, 3%. See, they just don't want us to be there. Turkey's barely even on the, like, Turkey's the highest, and even theirs went down. They're like, yes, yes, no. Although it's. Okay, but what is. Oh, okay. Where's the abstract? Jeez. Holy shit. So U.S. approval has plummeted across. Okay. Um. So the Afghani people want us out. This is all I have. Oh, the microphone got muted. Okay. Weird. Can I actually do that? Can I do that with this button? No? Huh. I don't know. I didn't hit anything. Oh well. There's been a 9-point drop in the number of Afghans who mainly blame the Taliban for the country's violence to 27%. More now, 36% mostly blame US, Afghan, or NATO forces or their governments for the violence in Afghanistan up by 10 points. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, we just need to get out. Pulling out by September wouldn't be the worst thing. I don't think we. I think we. Yeah, just out. Get out. If they were asking us to stay there and help them rebuild a little bit more, then I would be a little bit more on their side with that. But I'm on their side still with get out. We don't need to be there. Just get out of there. I'm gonna download this. What's up?
Off the side.
Sure, I guess, yeah. Wow. Saving that because this is super interesting. I've been going over so much data and shit recently, and Econ 101 texts. Oh, wow. Who is perceived as killing civilians? By US, 34%, 51, 67. 92%. Yes, in the past year. 24, 55. Okay, so 89% in Helmand. So, yes to all of them, with only 24%. Oh, wait. Okay, so 24% overall. That's total. This is all of this. But look at that. Like that. Okay. Interesting. See, I think the difference with here and like Syria is we don't have weak allies. We're in as a proxy, as quote unquote peacekeepers, I think. It's interesting. We did that with the Vietnam War, the Korea War. Definitely with the Korea War. Wait, Ford O'Connell? I don't even know. Oh well. Lots of confused messaging on. Alright. I know exactly what that's about. Thanks, Kyle. You gave me the article name. That's all I needed. Actually kind of like Hakeem in some ways. The playback rate. Yes. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy. Okay. Fuck. God damn it, Caleb. Alright. Y'all go subscribe to this channel. He does some funny shit. No, and thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, obviously hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Yeah. Do the subscribe. Oh yeah, Sargon defending pedophilia. This stuff is accidental ASMR and I love it. Oh, this guy's funny too. No idea. Ooh. Ooh. God damn. Destroyed. Oh yeah. Yeah, that shit was. Holy shit, dude. Yes, Michael Brooks was a legend. 3 years ago. Okay, god damn it. Alright, no more reacting to this guy's shit, at least. Oh yeah, Trump's still banned off Facebook, because fuck him. Oral vaccines? Hmm. Any county that allows Joe Arpaio to be a fucking sheriff doesn't deserve to be a county. Yep, okay. Well, he's already lost a lot, so, fuck him. Husband of missing Colorado mom arrested nearly 1 year after her disappearance. Oh. Good. This is actually a really solid thing. I'm not gonna lie. Biden, he did run as centrist, and then the more he's been in office, the more people have pushed him to push for more left-leaning policies. Not that he's a leftist, but he went from being like over here on the right to being like right over here, just over to the side of the center. Just like. Right over there. Like he's not he's not over here. He's not here where he used to be. He's more over here if you wanted to put Bernie like here. It doesn't even go like I'm off this screen because I'm not within the acceptable discourse of the Overton window for America. I took a political compass test, okay? On stream. You can watch it. I think it's actually um yeah, it's this one. And I did some research on Korea. So, enjoy. I was explaining it, but for some reason my audio didn't come through. Yeah, the audio didn't come through until way later. I don't know why. Um, that's where I got though. It's me taking it. See? I'm off this chart. But Biden has been governing more to the left. That's the overall point I wanted to get to. Sure. That's cool. Oh, this is gonna be cool too. Okay, I lied about React stuff. That's pretty cool. That's cool. Okay. He is. Let's see this 12-second clip. Very serious. Japanese! Toy folk! What is this? I don't even know. Tim's Japanese folk toy. Toy folk. God, I have problems with reading apparently. His name is Buckethead. Lord Buckethead. Oh wait, this is Benface, okay. True. Wait, Lord Buckethead versus Count Benface, huh? What is this? I don't even know. He battled it out with Margaret Thatcher. How old is Lord Buckethead? That's how I learned about him. Oh, interesting. I thought the other guy was. Oh well. Yes, they nuked you. Jeez. Okay. Random react shit. Oh, the playbacks. Well, okay. I've been on here for like, yeah, you see that? Hour and a half? Go to my Twitch. Go there. Go do it. Because I'll be streaming Alien Isolation in like a little bit. Like 30 minutes. So, if you do like, yeah, you tuned in at the wrong second. Go here to twitch.tv/sandwhichpants. You should see this on the screen and in the chat. And I'll be streaming Alien Isolation on there. And my Discord may be posted there in the chat. So when you arrive, you could join the Discord, because I don't know how to get my chat here to show up on my screen where I can see it, but I know how to get the Discord too, because Discord is cool. And if people had contentions or whatever with anything I say, into the Discord. Or if you had questions or anything. Because, you know, anarchist who believes in market socialism, that's me. I can explain as a general concept most of the things that I believe in, and some of them are a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe here. Go follow on Twitch. We'll see which one of them gets me monetized faster, so that I can actually maybe make this not something that goes from just being a fun hobby that I enjoy doing, but something that can supplement me so I can afford food. Alright. Take care, everybody.